We're working on the 520 again. I'm gonna install the clutch pulley, replace these crappy pins with the correct ones on the PTO. And I think I might clean out that new gas tank and install it in this so that we have something that doesn't leak. And then in the meantime, I'm going to work on repairing the original tank because I want to keep the fuel level sender for the gauge on the dash. Okay, this is very important. Do not lose this taper piece. I just spent 10 minutes looking for it on the floor. This piece goes right in here and it allows the pulley to kind of tension itself. So don't lose that. Alright, take two. Alright, I think I got it. Okay, so what I did is I unhooked it from the pin down here, and that gave me enough room to be able to get it started. Now let's torque that up. Okay, it's tight. So now, I don't know if you guys can see this, but right there, that's the pin that we need to hook the bottom part on here. Let's get that lined up. Oh man, I almost got it. Alright, that is now hooked on. So, that right there is the disengaged position, and to engage the drive, just pick up, drop it down. That adds pressure to the hydro belt. Awesome, that's all set. Alright, another few easy fixes. Let's take a look at this system here. So as you can see, it's kind of upside down, I believe. So I'm going to try flipping this over because it's also hitting the metal, the sheet metal up here. Oh yeah, that fits so much better. Let's get this pin swapped out before we adjust it. That's stopped. Tighten it in. That's engaged. That was barely on there. Alright, that's a lot tighter. Let's go just a hair more. Fully installed. Should be all set. Alright, let's go digging for parts. We got some seats. This seat's short, but it's not in half bad shape. I'll definitely use that for something. Need a belt guard. Here's one. Looks pretty rough. That one's pretty rusted as well. Shoot. Alright, we found a couple parts. They're currently thawing in front of the diesel heater. So we'll let those warm up. And then we'll test fit them back on the machine. I just threw the tire back on. So it's starting to come together. here's where we're ending tonight. I pulled this out of the snow, dried it off. Looks like that will be a pretty good fit. We're missing a couple bolts. We also need bolts for a seat. I'll have to test fit something up for that as well. I have gone through and greased the whole machine. I've also used some PB Blaster to grease everything up. I lubricated all the linkages. I went ahead and put the gas tank in there that we got today with no fuel sender. That way I can test the machine. And in the meantime, I'll work on fixing that. Alright, here's the 520H. I put the seat pan on tonight. I still got to put the side cover on. I just wanted to make sure everything was working properly. So I'll get that put on, but it looks like we don't have any leaks. The hydro drive works nicely. Goes forward and back. Everything looks like it's working really well. Let's try driving it around the yard. Alright, I believe this is the correct seat for this machine. We have the Wheel Horse logo. This is one of the bigger seats that was out there. I think it fits this machine a little bit better. It's nice to sit up a little bit higher. It has coil springs and it has these leaf springs, so it should be a pretty decent ride. Before we put that on though, I'm going to pull the pan back off, put the side panel on. So I will be back when everything's done. Alright, I ended up digging this piece out of the snow as well. I believe it goes like this. 2 bolts here, and then it bolts through the seat pan and also secures the seat. So we have 1 broken off bolt. I went ahead and got the footrest fully secured, as well as the side cover. It's not the prettiest, but it'll keep your fingers and toes from getting run into the belt. I had noticed before the seat was like super loose, and I didn't really know how this went, but that makes sense because that bar will add a lot of stiffness and rigidity to the seat. Pretty good. Got it on the 3rd try. Alright, I'm freezing cold. I'm gonna get the welder put away. Alright, sorry if it was kind of hard to see out there, but basically I just welded a nut onto the broken off stud, which extracted that piece out, and now we're good to install this bracket onto the tractor and get everything mounted up. Alright, here we are a couple days later. I ended up putting the snowblower onto the tractor. It's a single stage Snowthrower, so it won't really throw it very far, but with the 20 horse motor, it should do a pretty decent job. The belt that was on it was pretty tired, so I went to Tractor Supply and got a new belt. It's a 5/8 by 69 inch belt. Well, let's go ahead and try engaging the PTO for the first time. I had to free up the chain. It was pretty stuck, so I soaked it in PB Blaster last night. And to change the belt, little tip is you undo those bolts around that bearing there, and it gives you just enough room to slide off the old belt and slide the new one back on. This is a pretty heavy snowblower, and it's really nice to not have to lift that by hand like on the older tractors. So let's try engaging the PTO for the first time. I've only spun it by hand so far. Well, let's see what happens. Well, that's great. It looks like it spins really well. I'm just going to keep soaking that chain in oil. And another tip is, before you use this, you want to hose everything down with a silicone lubricant. Got it over there. It prevents the snow from sticking to the Snowthrower, helps keep it from getting clogged up. Thanks for watching. Kind of a part 2 of the 520 here. Hopefully we get a little bit of snow, and we'll test this out. Thanks for watching.